You know that commercial with the Progressive auto insurance, and they're all on a Zoom call, and she's like, "Can you see me? Can you guys see me?" Hilarious. Anyways, off topic. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. You are tuning in to the second update that I have for you all of my job search. So let's get going. Let's talk about what I did this week. All right, guys, I have a newsletter that I'm coming out with, and I want you to be a part of it. So if you're interested in any of the content I do on this channel, which I hope that you are, I'd appreciate it if you follow the link below, sign up for my newsletter. I've got some freebies coming out on there, mainly geared towards like job searching stuff. And then later on, it's gonna have some other stuff about coding. And then I'll also feed you some good material about anything on my videos, anything that you may have missed. If that sounds interesting to you, which hopefully it does, I'd love for you to subscribe to my newsletter. So go ahead and click the link below and sign up today so that you can get access to all the information. Generally speaking, this week was a little more nerve-wracking. Coding challenges happened this week. And we'll get into some of that stuff. Just a different week. Okay, we're gonna get into it. Well, before we get to Monday, the week before that, I had a company asked what day they wanted me to send out the coding challenge. And I was like, just send it on Monday, at 11 a.m. And then you're supposed to work on the coding challenge for 90 minutes, but you have 24 hours to get it turned in. And so Monday came around and I looked at it. I was like, okay, I was optimistic. I was like, okay, Tiffany, you can do this. Let's get started. Yeah. I was optimistic. Did I mention that? Listen, it wasn't a hard challenge. What tripped me up was the things they kind of threw in there. Basically, and I'll make a whole video about like the coding challenges that I've went through, but just overall theme of this one was data. So you get data and you have to group the data based on different parameters. But of course, there's some tricks along the way. So I started doing it. I used PHP, good old PHP. The company itself uses Python, and at some point I was like, how do you group information by date and from a file? And I looked in Python, and it not simple, but it wasn't like difficult to understand. And I was like, maybe I should have just did this whole thing in Python. But long story short, I failed miserably that coding test. And then I turned it in the next day, and it wasn't finished by any means, but I wanted to present something. So I left comments in the file and stuff, and I was like, well, maybe some people appreciate that, but they didn't appreciate that. So later on in the week, they kindly sent me a rejection letter. So I guess that's not what they were looking for. But anyways, I was like, okay, fine. That's out. On Tuesday, I was a part of a panel for General Assembly, and the topic was centered around Texas, and it was basically finding a job in Texas after completing a coding bootcamp. And then it had questions about the Texas job market, questions about minorities in tech, questions about just generally how do you job search, how do you find jobs. And so I have been through the process like right outside of coding bootcamp. So I was like, sure, I'll do the panel. And they asked me a couple weeks ago. So that evening, Tuesday evening, I did the panel. And it was a nice thing to do, especially after I'd bombed my coding challenge. I was like, ugh. At first I was like, I don't want to do anything. And then I was like, no, I'm not going to cancel. That's rude. So I'll do it. I'll just get it together and make it happen. And it turned out to be something that was pleasant for me. So I'm actually glad that I pulled through and did it. there is a recording of it on their Facebook channel. So I'm going to drop the link below. If you're interested in checking that one out, you can head on over to the link below after this video and watch the interview for some cool tips there. Wednesday, I actually vlogged about my day on Wednesday. Let's go back and reminisce on what happened on Wednesday. I didn't realize that there'd be 5 people in this interview, and I was like, whoa. So I was already just like, oh no. I knew it was going to be a panel, but I failed to ask like how many people, because I just assumed there'd be like 2 people. I don't know why I assumed there'd only be 2 people. I guess because that's how it's been in my other interviews. It's been like 2 people doing the interviews. I did the interview. They kind of did like round robin style, I guess. I don't even know if round robin is a thing. I don't know. But they did, the interview style for the first 30 minutes or so was basically them taking turns asking questions about like the technical process I take, and then, when solving problems, basically. So as you're doing your thing, how do you do your thing? They focused a lot on testing, which, I told them that me and testing, we're not friends. So I do the best I can with testing, and then I leave it where it's at. I'm like, you know what? This is what I got. So I do want to improve on testing. It's been something that is always, that testing, that guy, who is this guy? With that being said, that was like the first half of it. The other half of the interview was completing coding questions. It was 2 coding questions. One of them was the standard easy coding question, and the second one was a little bit more difficult, more challenging, and they don't expect you to finish. They don't expect you to finish it. I thought it was pretty cool. They sent me a link to a platform, and then I went, coded. It was kind of an odd place to be in because they sent me the link. They told me to code for 5 minutes. So I go away for 5 minutes off camera, and then I code it and then come back and explain it. And I'm like, this is an interesting approach. So I could appreciate some things about that. I definitely think it's one of those things where it's nice, especially when you don't have to like code in front of a whiteboard in front of all of your peers. It's like, oh no. But this is kind of like the alternative to that, which is just like, hey, we'll let you code and then just tell us what you were doing and what you were thinking about when you approach this problem. So the same thing, just different format, which honestly, hey, if it works for them, it works for me. And then I'm recording for a podcast, so it's not my podcast, it's somebody else's podcast. As I know more details, and when it comes out, follow me on social media, or probably even check out YouTube and stuff, and I'll post the links whenever it gets premiered. I'm not quite sure when it's premiering, but it's basically a journey video, tech journey video, getting into code in the tech industry. No, that's not it. I have to, somewhere between here and now, those are the same places. Somewhere between then and now, I have to complete a coding challenge on the line for a completely different job. I had an initial phone call with the company yesterday, and what they do is they send out hacker rank link, and you go on and you complete the code challenge there, and then they assess your abilities. So as you could see, I had a lot to say on Wednesday. I was, especially after you get done with an interview, I'm very much like excited. I'm like, oh, I did it. And so that was an exciting time. Leading up to it, I'm like a ball of nerves. But after I get done, I am okay. So moving on to Thursday. On Thursday, it was a little bit less of a kind of stressful day for me. It was more just like, okay, I have a coding challenge I need to do for a position. This was the one from HackerRank. And how it went is they sent me a link and they said, okay, you have 90 minutes and from the time that you start, and you can't go back. you have to complete it in the 90 minutes, and then it sends them the results, and then they go from there. I started the test, and it said it's 2 questions. The first question was like an API. They're like, go to this API, get some data back, and basically they want to know, is this count higher than one of the counts that you get from data? That part's easy, right? It's easy to do that. What was difficult was getting the response back from the API. And literally, I could not use PHP in this one. They only had a handful of languages listed, and PHP was not on the list. So I had to do it in Python. So I'm literally trying to remind myself how to do very simple things in Python, because I don't really know it. So I'm just like, I don't know. So I'm reminding myself, and I'm also Googling things and trying to figure things out. It was a mess. Ultimately, I wasn't able to get that done, but I did go back and I finished the first question with the API, because it was really bugging me, because I was like, how do I get just the data from this response? Like, it was so frustrating. And it wasn't even that like, I was like, I know how to do this. Like, this is easy. I can do this. And I think it's just that time in the corner that like stressed me out to the fullest. When it got down to like 30 minutes, I was like, oh God, I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish this. So I went to the second question. And the second question was basically trying to find, you have an array of data, array of data, and you have to see which data is in there the most, and the data that's in there the most gets pushed to the front of the array. And that one I could use PHP on, so I kind of started that one, but I didn't get a chance to finish it. But yeah, I was very disappointed about the API one, because I really enjoy working with APIs, and so when I wasn't able to do that, it really ticked me off that I wasn't able to finish. So that afternoon, I actually went back, and like in my own time, I was like, okay, how do I get the stupid response? Like, it can't be that difficult. And sure enough, it was not difficult at all. Dumb mistake on my part. And just, it was that stress of the moment, trying to figure out how to get what I need and being in a rush and not really thinking clearly in the moment. So another disappointment there. But I was like, life goes on, gotta keep moving. I was a little discouraged, not gonna lie. And I was like, man, forget applying to jobs, forget about whatever. I need to figure out how to complete these coding challenges. It's not going to matter how many jobs I apply to if I can't get to the coding challenge. And if I can't complete it. So I have to complete these things, or else people think that I can't code, which is not true at all. It's a little frustrating, not going to lie. But that's okay. Then Friday came around, and I got the rejection for one of the jobs that from one of the coding challenges I did. One of the jobs, but of course it was because I didn't complete the coding challenge. What really sucks about this is you don't get any accurate feedback. And so I don't know if me adding the comments helped. Did it hinder? Did you think it was stupid? Like, I don't even know. Admittedly, I didn't do any coding work on Friday. I had a therapist visit. I've been in therapy for like a year now. And so honestly, having those visits nowadays is like helping me out a lot. So in conclusion, what I have figured out is that I just need to study up on coding in a fast-paced environment. Apparently, people want you to code for 90 minutes and get the right answer. So I'm going to have to work on that. So overall, it was a week where I learned a lot about myself. Just the fact that maybe I'm not as ready as I thought I was, which can be very discouraging. But all that means is like there's something to work towards, and so I'm trying to be positive on that note. And so I don't know, we'll see. The following week, I have some other things coming up in terms of just studying more. I'm going to focus on that piece of my life. It's just trying to get better at taking these challenges. I'm assuming they're all going to be similar in that they're going to be timed, and they want me to do something with data. So I can't go wrong with like studying anything about APIs, or even going back on past challenges that I have not done well at, and then trying to do better at those within a timed period. So that's all I got. All right, if you enjoyed this video, give me a like, thumbs up, whatever you got. I need all the encouragement I can get, people. So yes, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in another one. Please stay safe out there, guys, and take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.